What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and today we're continuing with our release of our Madden 19, Madden 18 rosters. Now, as we go through this, I'm not going to, just to cut down the video, it takes about 3 minutes to explain everything. Go check out the AFC East intro. It's about the first 2-3 minutes. It explains everything in depth about what you're seeing in these rosters, where I got them, how I come to create everything, and things you need to work on adjusting. There's very little. It just revolves around the age with some of the rookies. So as we go through this, guys, I am going through these teams, and you guys are going to give me suggestions. Do you think that T.Y. Hilton, we're starting with today, we're doing the South, the AFC South. I think T.Y. Hilton, 88's too hot for him. He should be an 86. Let me know why. If you think someone like Malik Hooker should be higher than 82, I should be gambling on his potential more, you let me know. That's how it's going to work. So today we're starting with the Indianapolis Colts, and as always, very polarizing quarterback here because he didn't play, but I'm still going to go, give him the benefit of the doubt. I pretty much, anyone that missed significant time, I would try to deduct a point or two. I feel like anything else, like for J.J. Watt, for example, will be too harsh. So same with Andrew Luck. I'm pretty sure he had a base of an 89. I bring it down to an 87. That's a good starting point here for Andrew Luck. We also have Jacoby Brissett, former Florida Gator. He has a 74. He was, he wasn't terrible last year. Wasn't anything special. Solid depth. He's one of those guys that you may want to throw a quick def if you're so privy to. Look at the running backs. No more Frank Gore. They are moving on. So we have Mack here, who we gave a 77 overall. Last year, 600 yards, 4 touchdowns. But it's pretty much a crapshoot here at the running back spot for the Colts. You have Turbin, Christine Michael, and a couple other dudes. At the wide receiver spot, we gave T.Y. Hilton an 88 overall. I still think he's one of the more underrated wide receivers, even though, he's starting to make the Pro Bowls more and more often. The fact that he had, at best, average to below average quarterback play, almost had 1,000 yards, 4 TDs, and 57 receptions. I feel like 88 is pretty good. I think he's between that 86 to 88 range. And we went on the high side because I am a fan of T.Y. Hilton, but I definitely want to make sure I got this one right. We have Ryan Granier, Chester Rogers. We have Deion Kane, who I'm not going to modify really a rookie's wide receiver rating based off of how far they slipped in the draft, because he went real late. I had him as a base 73. In reality, you can make it a 70, 71. But I'm not a huge fan of him. I saw some things he needs to work on. I never thought he was as hyped as some people had pre-draft. But he's an interesting wide receiver here for the Colts. And we just have literally a bunch of guys to end the roster. Tight end, we have Ebron here, 82. Jack Doyle, 82. Jack Doyle last season had 690 yards, 4 TDs. Made the Pro Bowl, but he's like a super alternate. So maybe it could be higher than 82. Is he even playing field as Eric Ebron? I don't know. Let me know. Going to the tackles, we gave Costanzo an 83, Quentin Nelson an 82, which is the second highest overall for any of the rookies. Centers, Ryan Kelly 74, Mewhort 74. We have Braden Smith here, we gave a 73. And a right tackle, Denzel Good 72. Now, most of those offensive line rates are based upon Pro Football Focus. On the defensive side, now that they're switching to a 4-3, Jabal Sheard was like an 89 outside linebacker. Outrageous, graded out really well from Pro Football Focus, but in reality, you need to kind of bring it back a little bit at the end. So I'm starting him out here with an 86, so that I still think is pretty generous. 5.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles last season. Could be viewed as a little too high. This is more so I want Colt fans, because, Pro Football Focus doesn't always tell the whole story. So where's a good rating for Jabal Sheard? We have Tyquan Lewis, a rookie here, 70 overall. Right defensive end, we have John Simon, Danico Autry, Terrell Bash. Like I said, a lot of these guys are playing in new positions as they're switching out of the 3-4 base. D-tackle, we have Al Woods, who we gave an 83 overall. Last year, he graded out really well from Pro Football Focus. Almost at 50 tackles from the nose tackle spot. Good against the run. Henry Anderson's a 77. Did he get traded? I feel like he got traded. We might need to double check our rosters here. So I'll make sure I do that on the way around. But I'm pretty sure I want to say he got traded to, like, the Raiders, maybe? I don't know. Outside linebacker, we have Najee Good coming over the Philadelphia Eagles. You don't want this guy starting, I'll tell you that. Middle linebacker, Antonio Morrison. We have Darius Leonard, the second-round pick, 70 overall. We had a Twitter beef, but I still feel like there was a really big reach in the second round to get him. But my boy Antonio Morrison from the Florida Gators, I believe was the leading tackler for the Colts last season with over 100 total tackles. Good to see him healthy once again. Outside linebacker, we got some guys here. In the secondary, we have Quincy Wilson with a 75. Hairston 73, young secondary here for the Indianapolis Colts. Free safety, Malik Hooker, we gave him an 82. Even though the season was cut short, I feel like he would have played the whole season. He could have been in contention with the Tre'Davious Whites and the Marshawn Lattimore for Defensive Rookie of the Year. So you get a good one here. Strong safety, Mateus Fairley, 81, graded out well from Pro Football Focus. I believe he finished last season with 2 interceptions, 7 pass deflections, and a lot of tackles. So he's a pretty good strong safety, underrated. Good age as well. Gaither's here too, good trade bait. Vinatieri's an 85, and punter Rigoberto Sanchez with a 77. So I'm going to double check on the Henry Anderson thing. I think he might have been traded, but let me know if you like those Colts ratings. Moving on to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have a very strong roster. I believe it rounds out to be about a top 5 roster in everything. Quarterback, we gave Blake Bortles a 78 overall. Let's be honest, he's not that great. He's nothing special, but, you know, I guess you need to give credit where credit is due. He was able to manage that team and get a win in the playoffs, which, you know, it is what it is. 21 TDs, 13 picks. So 78 is a good spot for him. At the running back spot, we gave Leonard Fournette an 87 overall. I feel like if Leonard Fournette didn't miss 3 games, he might have beaten out Kareem Hunt or Alvin Kamara. Kareem Hunt for the rushing title, Alvin Kamara for Offensive Rookie of the Year. He had 1,300 yards, 10 TDs. At the fullback spot, we have Bohannon, 73. Wide receivers, big change in wide receivers. Marquise Lee is now going to be the top dog. Last season, Marquise Lee finished with 700 yards and 3 touchdowns. You have Keelan Cole, who kind of came out of nowhere for 700 yards, 3 touchdowns as well. Moncrief coming over from the Colts. D.D. Westbrook looking to improve upon last year now that he's playing. And DJ Chark was a second-round wide receiver, 73 overall with 94 speed. So these are the ratings here for the wide receivers. Lots of guys here, some good talent, some underrated guys not a lot of people know about on the Jags. Tight end, we lost to Safarian Jenkins. We gave an 81. Outside of that, not the greatest amount of names here for the Jags at tight end, but an 81. Offensive line, we have Cam Robinson, 74. Norwell, 89. A massive get in free agency. The highest rated left guard, I believe, in this roster. Linder's an 85 at center. AJ Can't, 72 right guard. Jerry Purnell, 79 right tackle. All in all, a pretty nice line there for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Defensive end, Yannick Ngakoue is getting an 87, one of the best edge rushers in the NFL that no one talks about. Last season, he had 12 sacks on the year, 6 forced fumbles. That's an 87 all day long. Dante Fowler still pulls in an 81, 8 sacks last year. Okay, sack specialist. Right defensive end, Calais Campbell gets a 95. I thought he got kind of robbed for Defensive Player of the Year. But, you know, he got the Pro Bowl, first team All-Pro, 14.5 sacks, almost 70 total tackles on the year, a touchdown, 3 forced fumbles. He was outstanding. I have no problem at all giving him a 95. D-tackle, we have Malik Jackson, who we gave an 87 last year, 8 sacks, 40 total tackles, 4 forced fumbles. Really, really solid in the interior. Marcel Darius, 81. Avery Jones, 79. And the first-round draft pick, Taven Bryan, is starting out here with a 75. Left outside linebacker, not looking so hot. In the interior, though, Miles Jack taking over for Paul Plesney. He'll get a starting base of a 79. I feel like that's not too bad for a guy that, you know, finished around 90 total tackles last year, 2 sacks. And the outside linebacker, we have Telvin Smith getting a 91, one of the best outside linebackers in football. 3 interceptions, 5 pass deflections, and over 100 tackles last season. He's just a machine. As an undersized guy, makes it work at linebacker. Cornerback Jalen Ramsey is a 93, which is, I think, the second highest rate for a corner. First team All-Pro last year, 4 interceptions, 17 pass deflections, almost 65 total tackles. He's simply outstanding. He's one of those guys. If you had to take a corner today to start on your roster, I think Jalen Ramsey would be at the top of most people's list. AJ Boye still pulls in an 89 overall. Maybe he could get a 90. You know, he had better stats, even though he's not as good as Jalen Ramsey. 6 interceptions, 18 pass deflections, and 56 tackles. So I could be persuaded to bump that up. Maybe a point. Outside of that, though, it's going to be tough to see who can emerge in this secondary. Free safety Deshaun Gibson's getting an 83. He had 4 picks last year, 7 pass deflections, and just over 60 total tackles. And at strong safety, Barry Church is getting an 84. Barry Church finished with 4 interceptions as well, 8 pass deflections, a sack and a half, and just over 70 total tackles. So slightly better stats. They got Ronnie Harrison here in the 3rd round from Alabama. We're giving him a 75 overall. Man, I had him as a late 1st, early 2nd round talent, and the fact they got him late in the 3rd is just really good value, and it's not going to really affect his rating for me. Kicker Josh Lambo is super accurate down the stretch, so he's getting an 85, and Brad Nortman with a 76. So those are your Jags ratings. Let me know. Now taking a look here at the Houston Texans at quarterback. We gave Deshaun Watson an 83 overall. Now, I'm a big fan. If you guys watch my channel anytime, you know that my favorite player, probably that doesn't wear an Eagles jersey, might be Deshaun Watson of the Houston Texans. Clemson, I'm not a diehard Clemson fan, you know, Gators till I die. But even though Florida's stuck, I like to adopt other teams, and I've always been a big Clemson fan because, you know, Brian Dawkins, I like orange. I was a massive Deshaun Watson fan, especially when so many people were doubting him, being able to make that transition. The fact that he came up and performed the way he did, you know, slightly overrated by some, but I feel like putting him here at 83 is fine. I've seen 86, 87 in some people's rosters. That's outrageous for me. I think 83 is a good starting point last year. 1,700 yards, 19 TDs, 8 picks in 6 games. Pretty goddamn impressive. Plus, he had 2 rushing touchdowns as well. Moving to the running back spot, we gave Lamar Miller an 84 overall. He had 1,200 yards from scrimmage and 6 TDs last year. Foreman's getting a 75. Fullback, you have Prosh with a 70. Wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins, 94. I really do think that he has moved into that conversation as the best wide receiver in football, not named Antonio Brown or Julio Jones. You know, after that, it was always seemed to be like, okay, it's either A.J. Green or Odell. Maybe A.J. Green, Mike Evans. I think Hopkins is right up there, and I might have him as my 3rd best wide receiver in the NFL, so that's why he got a 94. Almost 1,400 yards last year, 13 TDs, working with a rookie quarterback. I mean, he did get a lot of targets, but he made the most of it. 80 overall here for Will Fuller, who had 7 touchdowns last year. Kiki Kute is added to the roster with a 72 as well. Look at the tight end spot. You know, no more C.J. Fedorowicz, so they just have Ryan Griffin here, 76. Still need to figure out who is going to emerge as a tight end. Offensive line, Centrell Henderson's a 70. Zach Fulton, a 78, coming from the Chiefs. Center Nick Martin, 72. Jeff Allen, 69. Julian Davenport, 67. A horrendous offensive line. So they're going to be an interesting team to rebuild. Left defensive end, we gave J.J. Watt a 97. Now, this is the toughest one to get because I think when healthy, he is the best defensive player in football. But he hasn't been healthy for like the last 2 years, so it's really tough to give him a rating. If he was healthy, he'd get a 99. So I feel like 97 is a good spot for him to start out at. I definitely could be persuaded down. Right defensive end, they have Covington here, 76. D tackle, DJ Reader, 82. Very nice nose tackle. Left outside linebacker, Whitney Merciless, coming off an injury, so we're going to knock him down to about an 81. About his play style right now, play level. Interior, Bernardrick McKinney's getting an 84, which is a really nice rating for inside linebackers. Had just shy of 100 tackles last year and 3 sacks. Really solid. Zach Cunningham has a 75. Right outside linebacker, Jadeveon Clowney's getting an 89. Last season led the team with 9.5 sacks, just over 50 total tackles, 2 forced fumbles. He's a playmaker, man. He's an absolute playmaker. I still, though, question if he would be better fit as a 4-3 end, somewhere different. Corner, Jonathan Joseph. Old man Jonathan Joseph can still play, so we're giving him an 84 overall. Last year, 2 picks, 9 pass deflections, and just shy of 50 total tackles. Like Aaron Colvin, nickel corner from the Jags. Just have a couple other guys here. They're a work in progress in the secondary, but a big get is getting the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, who's going to have an 84 overall. Strong safety Andre Howell's getting a 79. Led the team in 3 picks last year, 5 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles. Pretty damn good, to be completely honest with you. So he's getting a 75. 3rd round pick Justin Reed has a 75. And you got 78 for the kicker. 84 for old man Shane Lechler. Was actually, I think, the top punter statistically last season. So there you go, guys. Those are the Texans ratings. Let me know. And then we're going to finish up here with the Tennessee Titans in the AFC South. We gave Marcus Mariota an 80 overall. Now, I still, even though they're connected at the hip when you talk about them historically, Mariota and Winston are 2 of the toughest quarterbacks to give a fair rating here in Madden. Because, on one hand, there's a bunch of games where they don't look impressive at all, and they don't look like they're living up to their hype. And then there's other games that look really good. Both of them are inconsistent. But for a guy that threw more picks than touchdowns last year, it's really tough to give him. I feel like 80 might be a little bit generous here for Mariota, but again, there's diehard Titan fans that think he should be better. So I don't know. This is definitely a rating I want to get your opinion on. We also have Luke Falk here, was a late round pick for them. Running back spot, you have Dion Lewis, 84 overall, cover for the Patriots. Great receiving back. Pairing that with Derrick Henry, an excellent smash and dash. Derrick Henry had 880 yards, 6 TDs last season. At wide receiver, we gave Rashard Matthews an 81. He led the team, or for wide receivers anyways, in receiving with 790 yards and 4 touchdowns. You have Corey Davis, who's, didn't have the greatest rookie season. I think he battled injuries from time to time. Only started in 9 games, 375 yards. No touchdowns yet. I think he had a touchdown in the playoffs, though. So, things are going to be good, though. He's a very, very good wide receiver. And then we have Tywan Taylor, Tajay Sharp, and others. At tight end, we give Delaney Walker an 88. Led the team in receiving yards and receptions, 74 catches, 800 yards, 4 TDs. So I think 88 is a good spot here for Delaney Walker, who is aging. You need to take aging a little bit in consideration here. Offensive line, we have Taylor Luan, 84, Quentin Spain, 76, Ben Jones, 75, Josh Klein, 79, and Jack Conklin, 84. Still two really good offensive tackles here for Tennessee. On the defensive front, Daquan Jones is going to get a 78 overall. Last season, Mr. Jones, 3.5 sacks in 12 games. It's not too shabby. Austin Johnson, kind of looking like a bust, I think. Right defensive end, Jarrell Casey's getting an 88. Last year, still made the Pro Bowl, but, you know, only 6 sacks. I think he had 60 total tackles. So 6 sacks, 60 tackles is nothing too spectacular, so I'm kind of being generous. He's one of those guys that constantly gets the underrated tag. He constantly slept on. So I give him an 88. That could be lower. D tackle spot, Benny Logan, coming over from the Chiefs, was really good when he was here with Philly. Gave him a 76. Outside linebacker, Derek Morgan got a 77. Last year, led the team with 7.5 sacks. And I believe he had just over 32 tackles. But they got Harold Landry in the second round. He is getting a 77. Didn't test as well as I thought at the Combine. But still, he's going to have good intangibles to start out at. And you might even want to give him a quick depth chart. That was an outstanding pick here from the Tennessee Titans. Middle linebacker, Wesley Woodyard. No more Avery Williamson. But Woodyard's not bad. 83 overall. I believe last season he led the team with 81 solo tackles, over 100 total tackles. And at 5 sacks as well, so maybe 83 could be higher. They got Rashaan Evans in the first round, very nice pick. He's going to have a 76. Right outside linebacker, Brian Orakpo with an 84 overall last season. Mr. Brian Orakpo finished with 7 sacks on the year. Getting up there in age, though, a little bit. Corner, Malcolm Butler is getting 84 as they bring him over from the New England Patriots. Logan Ryan gets an 81. He was, you know, how much can you give a guy that didn't get a single pick last year? But I do believe he had 11 pass deflections, so he wasn't too shabby. Same goes with Adoree Jackson. 81 for Adoree Jackson. Did not get a pick. 17 pass deflections, though. Played really well for a rookie. Free safety Kevin Barrett is getting a 92 overall. First team All-Pro. 8 interceptions, 16 pass deflections, and just over 80 total tackles. He was simply outstanding last year. Had a lot of multi-interception games, though, which, I mean, the 8 is still very impressive, but I feel like when you have like multiple games where you get 2 or 3, it's not as like he had 8 straight games of 8 picks, something like that. Not to diminish it too much, but he's still really, really good. Strong safety Jonathan Cyprian, really good against the run, so he's getting a 78. Kicker Ryan Suckup an 80, and Brett Kern, one of the best punters in the NFL, is getting an 85. I think that's top 3 rating for a punter. So there you go. Those are your Titan ratings, and overall, those are the ratings for the AFC South. Let me know if I got it right or if I got it wrong in the comment section below. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Ideally, we can hit, by the time you get these full rosters, we'll be at like 52,000, 53,000. So we'll be dropping that out. So if you guys like it, share the video. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.